I'm Brittany Allyn, and welcome to Savor the Flavors. Today I'll share with you one of my favorite fritter recipes. I think they make a great brunch item, or if you're planning a Latin-inspired menu, they make a wonderful dessert. I know you'll enjoy my plantain fritters with spiced caramel sauce. In order to make plantain fritters, of course, you're going to need a plantain. This recipe calls for 1 plantain. Now, some of you might be familiar with plantains, others of you not so much. You sort of look at them in the grocery stores, that other banana kind of thing. Well, actually, plantains are related to bananas, but they are distinctly different. Bananas are almost always eaten uncooked or raw. Plantains, on the other hand, are almost always cooked. And plantains are starchier than bananas, and you can use them in sweet or savory recipes. If you're making a savory recipe, you'll want to use a green plantain. However, for sweet dishes like we're making today, you want a nice ripe one. And you peel them just like you would a regular banana, and for this, I just sort of mashed it up in a bowl with a fork, but you could use a food processor if you wanted to too. So here I've got my plantain all nice and mashed up and ready to go. We're going to start, however, with our dry ingredients. I've got 1 cup of flour here. To that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And for this, you want to use just regular iodized salt or table salt instead of sea salt. You know I like to use sea salt a lot, but when I'm baking or making things like this, I like to use iodized salt. Now, those are our dry ingredients. We'll just get those combined. That's looking good. And now for our wet ingredients. We're going to start with 1 egg. I'm just going to kind of get that broken up here. Get it whisked. To that, we're going to add 1/4 cup of milk. And I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And then here I have some orange zest, just a 1/4 teaspoon. We'll get all of that. And we'll combine all of that. And then lastly, we are going to add the plantain. And then we'll mix it with our dry ingredients. Now we just want to stir this until everything is evenly combined. And then once it's combined, we're going to let it set for about 10 minutes. Now, as you noticed, I put orange zest in here, just a little, but a little makes a big difference. I love that subtle orange flavor with the plantain. And here's how I zested my orange. Okay, our batter has been sitting for 10 minutes. It's sort of started to rise a little bit. That's how you know the baking powder and everything else are working well together. I've got my vegetable oil heated here in my deep fryer to 350 degrees. Now to make these, I like to use this little ice cream scoop kind of thing, and I'm just going to take little scoops of the batter and then just gently drop them into the hot oil. And we're going to work in batches because we don't want to overcrowd the deep fryer. We want to maintain the cooking temperature. Now, as these cook, of course, they'll start to rise and sort of flip over by themselves. Every now and again, you get a stubborn one, so you might have to use your spider and give it a little turn because you want these to get nice and golden brown all the way around, and that takes about 3 minutes. When they're done, we're going to remove them to a paper towel lined plate to drain, and these are best warm. So what I like to do as I'm making them is have an oven preheated to 200 degrees, and I put a baking sheet in there with a baking rack on top to keep the fried fritters warm until they're all completely fried. Now, I am going to maybe give these a little bit of a turn here, and I'm going to continue frying these up. While I'm doing that, I want to show you how I made that spiced caramel. It's what makes these fritters absolutely irresistible. I always like to finish these with just a dusting of powdered sugar, just a little added sweetness. Now, I think we should taste. Take this one right here, put it in that caramel. It's nice and warm. Okay. That is so good. They're nice and moist because of the plantain, and they're a little crunchy on the outside because we deep fried them. That subtle orange flavor from the orange zest and that caramel, that will make your toes curl. That is so, so good. Makes you want to go back for another and another. You'll want to savor the flavors of my plantain fritters spiced caramel.